We never really had the how to be with a woman chat. We used to cross stitch, me and my mama, when I was still a little boy, and Cliff Huxtable was my idol, and I had to sneak to watch A Rage in Harlem, and I wasn't yet aware of my capabilities to not only tell great stories, make delicious scrambled eggs, but also overstep my boundaries. We used to cross stitch, me and my mama, when I was still a little boy, hearts, butterflies, four-leaf clovers, jack-o'-lanterns, Santa Claus faces with brown thread, and stockings. My mama taught me how to cross-stitch, how to create the outlines first and then respect the boundaries, because cross-stitching has rules. Much like most things, some rules aren't law, more like guidelines, particularly if you want your work to be neat. Like rule number 1, always keep your hands clean. Rule number 2, never touch anyone else's work without permission. Rule number 3, follow the chart. But most of all, 4, be consistent with your stitches, because if you aren't, though it may look nice on the surface, you can flip it over and reveal a mess and disarray underneath. When the other boys found out that I was cross-stitching with my mama, I stopped cross-stitching with my mama and focused more on sports. Something about girl stuff, called me names, might have crossed the line once or twice, I forget, I blocked it out. Sticks and stones and whatnot, you know, boys will be boys. They're funny, not boys, but lines, or rather boundaries, these lines we create to keep things separate or in order, or to keep out the unwanted. Funny, not funny ha-ha, but funny interesting, that we teach girls about cross-stitching and boundaries, but not to boys. When boys are encouraged to explore foreign territories, girls are learning about needlework. Side note, I heard a story about a woman who once stitched her husband into their bed sheets for having to tell him one too many times about his behavior. She proceeded to throw a pot of boiling water on him. See, boys are always allowed to grow up to become conquerors and told that nothing is beyond our grasp, not land, not riches, not women. As a boy, I was always adventurous and never cared much for boundaries, hopping fences, climbing trees. I think that's why my mama was teaching me how to cross-stitch, how to respect space. Or perhaps she hoped it would be my go-to whenever I didn't know what to do with my hands. I think I might have graduated college before I really took into consideration the ramifications a harmless touch from my hands might have on a woman, so I have to apologize first to anyone who else's lines I might have crossed without permission, or to my mama for missing the metaphor, for letting peer pressure and general senses of boyness cloud my better judgment, because boundaries are not relative. There is no difference between them in football or baseball or basketball or wrestling or cross-stitching. And women won't take crap forever. Ask Mother Earth. She's pissed. I don't know who told man he could do whatever he wanted with her body, like one day she wouldn't retaliate for centuries of inappropriate behavior. She would be justified in burying man alive. Oh, the grace that comes with only being expertly stitched into bed sheets. Thank you.